On everyone, Carmelo Anthony has really reshaped his game, and after that little piece of humble pie that he had to take, he was able to reinvent himself and be a contributor once again in the NBA. And he was great for the Lakers last year, and it's great to see Carmelo back in the NBA. And I hope that other teams pick him up. There are several teams that have been rumored to want to acquire Carmelo Anthony because of his shooting and kind of how he's reformed his game to be able to adjust and be a quality contributor off the bench. Defensively, He's never been a solid defender to begin with, but now he's had a real drop-off, and that just comes with age. He had his worst defensive rating of his career last year, but again, that comes with age, and you know what you're getting with Carmelo. You're getting a guy that could still put the ball in the hoop, and that is what many teams need. Many teams could use a guy like Carmelo Anthony, and again, it's just great to see him be able to make that adjustment, because look at guys like Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson wasn't able to make that adjustment and was out of the league. There's a lot of questions with Russell Westbrook. Is he going to be able to make those adjustments, or is he going to have to eat a piece of that humble pie and be out of the league for a year or two? Carmelo, he realized it right away, was able to get back in the swing of things, and since he's came back, he's been great. He was great for Portland, great for the Lakers, and now Carmelo Anthony will have any shortage of suitors that are willing to acquire his talents. One team that has been rumored to want Carmelo Anthony is a team in the Boston Celtics. Now, Boston had some great acquisitions, right? They got Malcolm Brogdon, they got Danilo Gallinari, and Gallinari was supposed to be that guy, much like Carmelo, that could just put the ball in the hoop. He could play multiple positions, right? He could play the 4, he could play the 3, and also give that, that rest to Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum. That is huge. They can't be playing 40 minutes a game, every game, night in and night out. And the two acquisitions were perfect. You got that Jaylen Brown, or Jayson Tatum replacement in Malcolm, who can play, shooting guard. He can play small forward. He can even play point guard in spots. So it's great to have that guy that's versatile. And then Gallo, same thing. He can play multiple positions. If you want to go small, you can go small. If you want to go big, gives you opportunities for multiple lineups. But then Gallo ended up getting hurt, and we don't know exactly when he'll be back. Yes, it's usually 4 to 6 weeks. Sometimes 8 for his type of injury with the ACL sprain. But his age, and you don't want to force him back. You don't want to rush him to come back because you don't want him coming back and he immediately injures himself again. So what could they do in the meantime? There were talks about him, maybe getting traded, or the Celtics even looking to trade, let Gallo stay on the team, rehab, recoup, and then maybe go look for a trade. A team like the Utah Jazz has a bunch of wing players that they need to unload. Maybe you could work out a deal there somehow, some way. Or you could just sign Carmelo Anthony. And it makes a lot of sense that Carmelo is now linked to the Boston Celtics. The Boston Celtics are a team that is trying to acquire Carmelo Anthony. The big question, though, is Carmelo Anthony a player that would want to go to the Celtics? Coming from the Lakers, the history, all of that stuff. He's a student of the sport, have the rivalries with the Celtics and stuff. So is he a guy that, hey, I'll go to the Celtics, I'll play with the Celtics, and what kind of role is he going to play once Gallo comes back? Is he going to get some heavy minutes? Is he going to get some heavy play time? Now, I think that he would be great in a pinch. If you could get him to just kind of be that guy that comes off the bench and you know what you're getting with him, a guy that could just put the ball in the hoop, get you an easy bucket, because Melo is still a bucket, then that's great. And the good thing about the Celtics, they have so much defensive talent, and their team defensive schemes are so great that Carmelo will look better defensively than he really is, because all the other guys will be able to make up for the lack of defense that Carmelo has. So that, I think, would really be beneficial, not only for Carmelo, but for the Celtics, and getting a guy like Carmelo Anthony, because that's the big concern, is defensively. I mean, look, Marcus Smart won the Defensive Player of the Year last year, but if you look at his stats defensively and just the defensive ratings and stuff like that compared to several other players that were better than him, then it didn't make sense that Marcus Smart got Defensive Player of the Year. But that defense was so good, and he was the cog in that defense. He was the engine of that defense. It was more of a team accomplishment than it was an individual accomplishment, but nonetheless, he was like the poster child for that team's defense. So as deserved, he got the Defensive Player of the Year. They could easily make up for the lack of defense for Carmelo. Not all teams can do that. And so I think Melo makes a lot of sense. And even when Gallo comes back, you could still run him. Like I said, him and Gallo can play both the 3 or the 4, so you could have that shooting, you could have that floor spacing if you need, interchange them. Melo's probably going to miss a couple games. Gallo's probably going to miss a couple games. Other guys miss a couple games. I think Melo will get some burn. I do think that this would be a great acquisition for the Celtics. It's a low risk, high reward play, right? You're not going to pay him more than a veteran minimum. If he comes in and he can kind of replicate what he's done the last few years, knock down a couple shots, maybe give you like 9 points a game, something like that is perfect. That's all you need. You just need a guy that can go get you, a couple threes, couple buckets night in and night out, a guy that you can just dump the ball down to on the block, and Melo could just go to work, go get you, that patent fadeaway, and you're in a good spot. You're in a good spot. I think Melo to the Celtics would be a great move for the Celtics. I think it'd be a great move for Melo too, because I think the Celtics will make Melo look a lot better than he really is, just because they're going to be able to mask him on defense and be able to put him in a position to score. And with Jaylen Brown, Jayson Tatum, guys like that, you're going to be able to draw to get Melo open looks, open shots, stuff like that. He did get a bunch with the Lakers, and he was. I mean, especially at home in LA, he shot like a ridiculous. Like at one point, he was shooting like 66% from three or something crazy like that at home. So he showed he can knock it down. He can knock down the three ball. He can knock down and still get the ball in the hoop. And if you're the Celtics, that's all you need. You just need somebody that can bring rest to these two guys. These two guys cannot be playing 40 minutes, night in and night out during the regular season, and then expect them to play 48 minutes in the playoffs and not be exhausted by the time the finals comes around. Like, I get it. They're young. They're talented. They're gifted. But you need to be able to put guys on the court to get these guys some rest. And I think Gallo and Malcolm Brogdon were those guys, right? Those were the two guys that you could use to kind of give these two rest, give these two time off. And it just sucks that Gallo got hurt. But do you just kind of go with business as usual and not do anything? Or do you try to go get a guy like Melo who can, help alleviate that? And even when Gallo gets back, you could still run Melo, and it's still a useful tool. It's still a useful player. It's still a guy that can, again, put the ball in the hoop. So I think however you shake it, I think that it would be in the Celtics' best interest to go get a guy like Melo. Again, cheap player, not going to cost you a lot. If he can just be serviceable, you don't need him. You don't need him to come in and be, Denver Nugget Melo. You don't need him to come in and give you 25, 30 a night. If he does a night or two, cool, great. But in reality, you just need him to come in, be able to alleviate these two guys, go get me, 2 to 4 threes a game, or a couple baskets a game. If Melo could get you, 8 to 10 points night in and night out, that is perfect. That is perfect, because Melo's probably only going to be playing, 10 to maybe 15 minutes a game. Even if you get Gallo, you could run them side by side, but you're probably only playing Gallo. Maybe for him, you're probably playing him 15 to 20 minutes a game, stuff like that. Unless he's hot, then you probably keep him in the game. I think however you shake it, this would be a great pickup for the Celtics. But anyway, those are my thoughts and opinions. And as always, I pass the question on to you. Let me know yours down in the comment section below. What do you think of Carmelo Anthony potentially going to the Celtics? Do you think that, yes, that's a great place, great destination, make that happen? Do you think no, they should look for elsewhere? You think maybe they should do a trade? What do you think they should do? I believe the Celtics still have a couple trade exceptions, so they could absorb some guys in some contracts and some deals. But ultimately, you're better off just kind of signing a guy, take a flyer on a guy like Melo, see what you get from him. And if it works out, great. If it doesn't, he's just a vet minimum guy, and he's just a guy that just is filling in a roster spot. Maybe you could plug him in big moments, or, a guy that's hit a big shot. So, you need a game winner. Put Melo in there because he's a guy that has hit those shots at big moments, stuff like that. But anyway, however you feel about it, I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions down. One last little shameless plug is I did start As It Stands Lakers. It is a channel just like this, dedicated to only the Lakers, because the Lakers are my favorite team. And on this channel, As It Stands, I talk about all teams, all sports, stuff like that. We have football season coming up, so I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. And I just wanted to make a dedicated channel to the Lakers to give the ins and outs. Now, all the big stuff, all the big news and stuff, I will still post here on this channel. But if you want all the ins and outs and just rumors and theories and just discussions just strictly on the Lakers, link down in the description or in the comment section. Go check out the channel, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot, lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.